So I'm going to be very disciplined and make sure that we go on time for lunch. Very difficult to tell you all that we've done across the KTN. Those who have been interacting with us will know we're quite broad, quite deep in our coverage of the materials community, both producers and users of materials. What I'm going to show you some examples really in terms of the sort of things we've achieved. Our web portal will hold a lot more information, so please do visit the web portal if you haven't done that. We had a vision when we started, and it's the same vision, and it's really working with the supply chain, working with the material supply chain to make sure we make the whole process that are involved in the industrial process innovative, make sure that if we place it within the global context, we're creating some global leadership in what's happening. That way we can secure the competitiveness of the UK. We're only a part of the whole approach to making that happen, but nevertheless we feel is a very important part. And this is the remit really that the Technology Strategy Board, our key sponsor, has given to us. And in that process we work with other people, not just the Materials KTN, not just the members who interact with us, but other organizations as well. And if you've seen the displays, there's a lot of organizations who are interacting with the Materials KTN to actually make this happen. And I thank them very much for being here with us today and supporting the work of the KTN. The KTN itself has a number of network groups branded to be recognized within their community. Some have a history of being in the community for 6 years. Some really started 2 years ago. But the KTN itself started 2006, in January 2006, and brought together all the DTI funded at the time, DTI funded networks in the materials area. All that now is being funded by the Technology Strategy Board as part of the technology program. And what we're doing, each one of us within the network, is making sure we deliver that value, that knowledge transfer activity to our communities, and working together within the materials community to deliver that value and learning across sectors as well, transfer best practice across sectors. If we just go through the list and we take Advance, Advance is our transport, looks after our transport activities and covers aerospace, marine, automotive, rail. Advanced work in the aerospace and automotive sector is very well advanced. They're doing as much as they can in the marine sector, but they're looking for more support from the sector to interact with them, and same applies to rail. But they're there and they're willing to go to actually work. And again, they're in a very good position to transfer the best practice from the other two sectors into the rail and marine sectors. Now, Advance is looking at sustainable materials for the transport sector. The other groups we have will play a role in the transport sector by supplying sort of materials technology, tech transfer activities in the sector. And those of you in the aerospace sector will have interacted very, very well with the National Composites Network, NCN. But NCN is not just about aerospace. NCN has a lot of facilities that do a lot of work with the aerospace sector. The aerospace sector has a national strategy, and therefore the demand from that sector seems to be more developed. But NCN does a lot of work with the marine sector, does work with the rail sector and the construction sector, and really beginning to build momentum within the construction sector so they can have a look at composites. It's not all about carbon fiber composites. There are other forms of composites that are more suitable for the construction sector. So NCN is actually covering quite a wide area. Powder Matrix specializes in particulate engineering, But powder matrix looks at things like hard metals, yes, made from powder, looking at the pharmaceutical industry, where powder compassion is a sort of, if you like, a synergistic technology area, and seek to transfer knowledge from both sides, but actually very helpful to the pharmaceutical sector in making tablets. Powder matrix, again, there's a lot of work in magnetics, and quite key within the group for looking at magnetic materials. Then we have smart materials, which is really SmartMat, which is about smart materials and structures and surfaces, smart surfaces, and the link with the space, sort of what we heard about materials in space, becomes obvious. Shape memory alloys, really making sure that materials can sense and react to stimulus. SmartMat is there, so we've got a group looking at that. Metaphor is our metals and alloys, so we have a group looking at metal and alloys needs, and really we're calling on that, on the industry, the metal and alloys industry, to actually interact with Metaphor and the KTN as a whole. Then we've got the polymer side, the Polymer Innovation Network, covering plastics and rubber. And again, if you look at plastics and rubber industry and the position within the economy, it's significant. And the network is there, working with groups like the British Plastic Federation, the Polymer RRC. You can see the Polymer RRC here, the TARC, the Rubber Research Centre, to actually just make sure that we can bring innovation in that area to the UK, and working with the plastic converters, rubber recyclers, for example. Technitest, the technical textiles, and again, if you're not following the fortunes of technical textiles, just go to Marks & Spencer, and the iPod jacket will tell you, the future somewhere lies somewhere here, and we shouldn't just leave it to Korea to capitalize on. We do have fantastic technologies here. As a matter of actually marrying the technologies, from the electronic sector into the textile sector. And we have a group, a very strong group looking at that area. And then we have made materials and design, and again, very strong activity in this area, where over the last 18 months we've managed to actually bring material scientists and designers together to actually talk and found ways and means of getting that communication going, the right language going. If you haven't seen the Made magazine, it's out there, have a look. And it'd be good to actually get a view from the material scientists, whether that actually makes them buzz or not. But when the designers have a look at the material scientist journal, they have a different impression. Maybe you have the same, or probably you like the design way of doing things, so the designer way of doing things. But have a look at Made, very impressive. The packaging side, we've got a packaging materials, looking after packaging materials and design. And packaging materials link, it's in effect really our node there. We've launched a spin-out from Faraday Packaging to actually make sure that we can have a wider involvement of the packaging community in what we do. What we have is a blend of activities, and it really relates to this, the sort of state of maturity of the community we're dealing with. But because of the breadth we have, we actually have a mixture of activities. We have a large number of workshops, events, raising awareness of materials, of design, how materials and design can interact. We have very focused workshops, meetings to actually further to make sure that we have a clear exchange of information and knowledge, and that can lead to collaboration. And we do have some big collaborations going on within the network. So within the KTN, we've actually managed to get a blend of activities, and only good. When we have an emerging technology appearing, we can quickly go back to awareness and make sure we raise the awareness, we develop the knowledge base there. Whoever has it, we bring them in.